We're live. Okay.
Here we
Wow.
are.
Okay. All right. So for anyone, showing up here, this is completely unplanned, completely unscheduled.
Totally abrupt.
Um,
Daisy was like, "Let's do it."
yeah. So Lisa and I were having a conversation. If you don't know Lisa, she writes the Auntie Bulletin. Great friend of mine. We talk Substack stuff all of the time. And we were going to barter some things. Like Lisa was saying she needs help with style and how she maybe shows up on camera and things like that. And I could use some editing help. And so we're going to barter those things. And so we had just gotten on a call to talk about style and Lisa had explained the situation, and I just was like, this should be a Substack Live. Like, let's just have this conversation on live. So completely unplanned.
And I was
Sorry
like,
to get messy. Yeah.
"Okay, let's do it. Let's do it."
So I've bullied her into doing this. So I am going to try and summarize what you told me, but feel free to chime in because I had so many thoughts as you were talking. I really wanted to get them out, but we saved it. So basically, Lisa and I are similar in a lot of ways. We both spend a lot of time at home. We don't do a lot with our hair or makeup. We also are showing up online in various places. And so I'm looking at my notes over here. So, Lisa, you were just saying that you wanted to kind of maybe have a little bit more of a polished presence. You wanted to decide what to do with your hair and makeup and what to wear. And you were also having concerns just about images to use on your newsletter. And you had gotten good advice from someone who was saying, like, get some professional photos done and just use those as part of your content. So, yeah, elaborate a little bit for us.
Yeah, I feel schlubby all the time. I have this you can't see it as much in the way that we're framed on a Substack Live, but in my Zoom background, I just got kind of some clutter behind me, and then I never know what I'm doing with my hair. I was telling Daisy I haven't had a haircut in like 2 years, and I never wear makeup. If I wear makeup, I feel like a clown, like I'm wearing I don't even know how I'm supposed to look. And then because due to disability and chronic illness, I am home most of the time. I'm usually wearing like a cashmere sweater like this and sweatpants, and I don't really even know how to look more polished as much anymore. And Daisy, I'll say, Daisy is a wonderful anti-diet, body positive style newsletter. I've learned so much from her. I have a whole Pinterest board now, thanks to her, of like all the style that I love, but I barely ever wear it because I don't leave that much. I'm mostly just in these like soft clothes. And so like I just kind of don't know how to present a professional like polished appearance online where I can kind of start like more building my brand. I'd like to build out to like social media. I'm only on Substack right now. I haven't even really ever done Instagram or TikTok, and I want to be able to build out that presence so that I can keep building my brand and my newsletter, and like I'm trying to make a livelihood doing what I'm doing here. So like I want to be able to kind of like also, I should say that because my newsletter is about being an auntie, about being an allo parent, I
Mhm.
frequently am writing about other people's children, and I can't put pictures of them on the internet. So I have a like kind of limitations around like what I can use as images, and one of the main things I can use is myself. But I just want to have like a more polished way of doing that.
So tell me a little bit more about what polished means to you.
I don't know. Honestly, one thing I was thinking about that I definitely want to push back about on with myself is that like we live in a culture because of anti-blackness where curly hair is seen as not polished. And like I don't want to like buy into that shit, but as you can see, I have curly hair. So one thing is like how do we curly haired people do our hair? I'm white, but the anti-black is still in there, right? And like
Mhm.
how do we do our hair as curly haired people in a way that will be perceived by others as polished and like as a cool brand?
Mhm.
And then that to me, it's like, I know even though we're here talking more about clothing style, like that to me, it's all of a piece because it's
Mhm.
like, to me, like my hair curly hair when I don't really style much of it, it's just really curly and it like it sort of feels like my clothing style is also just like curly, like loose, rough.
Mhm. Mhm.
I want to look polished, I put my hair up, and I'm like maybe back when I was before the pandemic when I was like out and about more as a professional person, I wore a lot more like hard pants and blazers and boots and,
Mhm.
you know, like
Mhm.
the way that I would dress for a conference, but I don't necessarily I'm still mostly when I'm putting my image out there in the world now, I'm doing it from right here, and I don't
Mhm.
necessarily wanna be in, like, blazers and hard pants and boots. It's not, like,
Mm-mm.
suitable,
Yeah.
so I kinda don't
Yeah.
know what is the
So let's start from a point, and this is kind of the way I wanna always approach style, is like, let's start less from what looks polished to other people.
yeah,
Let's start with what would feel comfortable and good to you to be wearing on screen. Like, how would you feel your best? I know comfort is gonna be the number
mhm,
one, right?
mhm. Yeah, comfort's so important, and again, I kinda think about the styling pieces, like, I feel like I look better with my glasses on, less haggard,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
wearing earrings, and then,
Mhm.
like I don't know, I like, kind of simple colors, like
Mhm.
solid blocks of color, like
Mhm.
not too much pattern, not too
Mhm.
much, like, logo stuff.
Mhm.
Most of my clothes are kind of like solid blocks. This sweater
Mhm.
is color block, 3
Oh, I
color
see. I've
yeah,
seen that.
um, and I have a lot of clothes like that are kinda just like
Mhm.
and I love this sweater. I'm happy to be
Mhm.
wearing this sweater on screen. It's like
Mhm.
what I happen to be wearing today, but I also wonder about, like, introducing a little more color. I feel like that's
Mhm.
and I'm comfortable wearing color, not, like, a ton, but,
Mhm.
I'm not opposed to it, and I like warm colors. I like reds and yellows and
Mhm.
oranges. Um,
Mhm.
this Daisy has done a wonderful job over the last few months occasionally writing about our, like, "What season are you?" That stuff from back
Mhm.
in the '80s, and when I was a kid, I was told very, like, emphatically that I'm an autumn and I should wear autumn colors, and I was, like, not into that as a kid, but I actually do like autumn colors now, so,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So let
yeah,
me pause you right there. Okay. So first of all, a couple of things that you told me both before we got on this live and just now you reinforced is that you feel like a clown when you wear makeup.
yeah,
So why do you feel the need to wear makeup? It's going to make you feel really uncomfortable.
yeah, why do I well, okay, one thing is I'm getting older. I wanna
Mhm.
embrace my aging. I don't wanna
Mhm.
participate in ageism, and I
Mhm.
also, like, look in the mirror and feel more haggard looking.
Mhm.
45, and, um I don't know. Why do I feel the need to wear makeup? Like, I'm more comfortable without it for sure. And appreciate you, Daisy. I think you are very good and brave about being on camera all the time without makeup or very much. Um, and which I really think is very cool.
Well, can I jump in and say something? Close friends of mine can tell you, and I'm trying to think when this it's probably around the time of the pandemic. Pre-pandemic, I felt like I could not record anything, and this was a time when Instagram was quite a bit more it was very, like, picture perfect, like, everything had to be really perfect, but I felt like I could not record anything on Instagram or anywhere without, like, full makeup and hair.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
which normally happens for me twice a month at most.
Yeah.
Um, and so, and then little by little, I just did a little less every time.
Yeah.
And I remember the time when I think I even said it in the video, like I quite like viscerally can remember the time when I went on camera without anything. And like
Mm.
I even remarked in the video about like at first I would apologize for it. At first I would say, "Sorry guys, I know I'm like just a mess," but and then I was like, "Why do I need to apologize for that?" And then, it's 5 years later now and yeah, I could look better, like whatever that means. But I just don't wanna make the effort. Like my ideas and yours should have the same impact regardless of whether we're wearing makeup or not. So, the thing I wanna say is that it does take time to get to that comfort level, but I think you can, and I think, even the things about, like, looking haggard and things, like, that's you're what a 45-year-old woman looks like. I'm what a 48-year-old woman looks like. Like yeah, we have skin imperfections and things. And again, like I think it can be about baby steps. Like put on some concealer. Like, I don't know, do whatever, that kind of gives you that sense of security. Because again, like we don't need to be martyrs with this stuff, right? Like we do still live in this world where it can feel unsafe sometimes to
Yeah.
not adhere to some of the rules. So, you know, adhere to what feels okay to you, but don't go to the point where you feel like a clown. Like
Yeah,
that's just, why
right.
would you do that?
Well, okay, number 1, Daisy Gillespie, everybody. Isn't she freaking amazing? Aren't we glad that we're here with her right now? Okay, hard question, Daisy.
Mhm,
And you've been, like, in this place for several years now where you've been, like, really leaning into, like, be ourselves, like, be our
mhm,
real selves.
mhm.
And, like, when we're out in the world, and I love it so much, and, like, do you think, as people who are trying to make a living doing the stuff that we're doing here, that we take a hit to our livelihood by making these kinds of choices? And if so, maybe it's just like, okay, we take a hit to our livelihood, and that's not the people that we want around. But I wonder, like, somebody's trying to find me, I'm branching out to social media, which, by the way, I have not yet done, and, like, people are just scrolling, scrolling, scrolling through, and I want them to stop on me, and they don't because I don't look polished enough, like, discuss.
Okay. So two things are possible, right? One, first of all, I just want to note that I actually am a stylist and someone that people are looking at
All the time.
thinking I should be stylish. Yeah. Um, and
Yeah,
again, it's just been over time. It's just been
yeah.
over time where to me, I think I am if there's any business I'm losing, I am more than making up for it in
Mhm,
people who want to learn to care less
mhm,
about that kind of stuff. And I mean, I could just tell you about this one client I'm working with right now. Like I won't get too off track, but she's in her early 40s. Her whole life, people have been saying, "You should do this. You should do this. You should dye your hair blonde. You should wear this." Um, right now, she's thinking of letting her hair go gray,
yeah,
and she's getting so much pushback. People are like, "Why would you do that?" Like literally, like people at her work are saying, "Are you going to dye your hair soon? Like, what's going on?" Which is just crazy, and she's just realizing, like, I've always made these choices based on what other people thought I should do, and, like,
yeah.
this is the first time that she may actually, like, choose to do something other than that, and it is giving her this amazing sense of power and confidence and also, like, a kind of, like, "fuck you"ness of, like, no, I can do this if I wanna do this. Anyway, so I think there's, like, positives on either side. Do
Yeah.
we live in a society where pretty people are taken more seriously or listened to more? Absolutely. But I also think it is equally as important to show up as a model, again, of what a human face after 48 years of living looks like when we have so many modified faces to counter. So, I've literally never thought about it, whether I've lost business because of that, but
Mm,
I will say that I get many more comments than negative ones about people saying, like, "Thank you for giving me permission. Thank
mhm.
you for just being, like, yourself and not fake." So, yeah, I don't know, I never thought of it. And here's the other thing. For me and my message, it aligns, and it certainly does for you too.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's just what I was thinking, and, I really appreciate your saying that, Daisy, like, first when you started talking about this, I was like, well, yeah, for you, it's like you're doing this kind of like revolutionary thing to a certain extent in the stylist space by just like showing up as like who you are in this moment. But then like I was having that exact same thought. Actually, like showing up as who I am in this moment is like very aligned with my brand. And I'm noticing we got some of our buddies on this call. Hi buddies. And who I know write about like all kinds of different things. And I'm thinking about like it's kind of an interesting question for all of us to think about like in the space of our brand or our subject area or whatever, like where how can we like carve out in an aligned way showing up as our whole selves and like being willing to make some of those trade-offs in terms of, like, maybe I'm not gonna grab quite as many of a certain demographic of people, and, like, no shade to them. I mean, I'm sure that I, like, respond to pretty privilege and click on stuff because people look attractive, but, like, um, if we are pulling in more audience that are, like, aligned with what we're doing, that's, like, a really big benefit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so and then, I just want to, by the way, I am gonna help you, like, I'm not gonna just be like, "Just
Let it go.
fuck it, all of it."
Do it.
Yeah, but, and then the other thing I always wanna challenge, and I've written, about it, is who defines professionalism, right?
Yeah.
Who defines what professional is? And you mentioned, like, anti-Blackness, and the easy way to describe it is that, quote, professional, looking professional is by trying to look as close to a white man as possible,
Yeah.
right? Cle Clean hair, straight hair, no flyaways, no frizziness, wearing a blazer, it's like a man's suit, like, and then also at the same time as trying to conform to a white man, we're also trying to perform a level of femininity and attractiveness. It's like I mean, it's just impossible. It's an impossible needle to thread. Um, and so I get, and I think my personal belief is that for us white women, we can start to redefine that so that eventually, hopefully, the idea is that perceptions of professionalism will shift,
Yeah.
right? So if you can get comfortable with just rocking your curly hair and maybe it even being like a signature.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like maybe you don't even need a lot of like interesting clothes. Like maybe your hair and your glasses and your earrings are your look.
Yeah. That would be
And
nice.
yeah. And we can talk like curly girl method or whatever, hair stuff.
Sure, that one.
Um 'Cause I actually you wouldn't know it, but I actually have naturally curly hair, but, and that's a story for another day, but, yeah, I just really think when we think about moving something forward for our Black women compatriots, that's like a tangible thing
Yeah, that we
that
can.
we can do. Because, I mean, just in case anyone here doesn't know, like, that's been literally against the law for Black women to wear their natural hair at
Yeah.
various times in our history, and, it is still, people are still discriminated in workplaces about it, just as they are for larger bodies and all of that stuff, but, I think for you, it's an asset in terms of authenticity. And I feel like yeah, I just don't feel like you need to I don't feel like you need to pull it back. I don't feel like you need to straighten it, certainly, which is probably almost impossible anyway. Um,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, like, you can spend more time on your hair on days when you're gonna be recording stuff, and get some, like, really pretty shiny curls going, but yeah. So there's that piece of professionalism. Um And then I've never heard anyone say this before, this was really interesting, you said, "It's like my style is curly too." And by that, I think you said it's like, what did you say? Well, you said schlubby, you said, your clothing style is loose and curly. Um, and so again, I think that also, again, if we were to trace it back, like very tailored straight lines is patriarchal, right? That is kind of another white
Yeah.
supremacist ideal. And so what if we embrace softness and like comfort and coziness? Lisa,
Yeah.
coziness is your revolution.
I literally wrote about the cozy revolution on Friday, so this is timely call in.
Yeah, and I think and even, to call back to that piece even more, it's like you talked about being a place that's approachable, a place that people feel safe,
Yeah.
and really about there being correct me if I'm wrong on this, about just, like, there being a maternal feeling almost,
Mhm.
even in, like, kind of having this the space for people. And, like, wouldn't that be great if that was the image you're projecting?
Yeah. Oh my god, you've just blown my mind, AC.
It's really, really important to have this conversation on camera.
No, it's really great. That was very wise of you, Daisy. For those who joined in a little late, we were just having this conversation, like, offline, uh, and Daisy was like, "Let's get on live, let's do it." And I was like, "Okay." He's so smart. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, you know, I think so the things just to remind you, the things that you said would feel best
Yeah.
are being comfortable, having your glasses on, wearing earrings, having maybe a little bit more warm, simple colors, solid colors. Like those are all things you can think about working on. Let's shift your focus from it being like, oh, how can I look more like the textbook definition of professional and more because and here's the other thing too, and I've talked about this with several Black women that I've worked with, is that, like, how we look does not take away any of our knowledge or experience or expertise, right? And we want to be able to go into a space and a little bit be and of course, you and I have less risk, right, in this scenario. So but again, what we want to be able to pave the way for is people being able to walk into a space and knowing that when they open their mouth and start talking, that their ideas and their expertise is so valuable that ideally the rest of it doesn't matter. We know it does,
Mhm.
but
But we're
like,
working on helping shift culture
yeah,
and shift cultural expectations. Yeah, you're so right, Daisy. I feel like this is such a helpful conversation because I think I had been kind of in my mind sort of not divorcing, but just not fully recognizing the relationship between really like the political and social and interpersonal message that I want to communicate through my newsletter and my beliefs about how I look and how I present myself. And like, actually, that's, I'm seeing it. I'm totally like, I'm so grateful to you for your like drawing such a like clear line. Like, those two things go together, they're related. And it feels like such a relief in my body to be like, oh, I being myself can be like part of my brand, and like, having a cozy space can be part of my brand. Like, you can't see there's a sewing machine back there. It's underneath a embroidered thing, but like, um, that feels like so much less, like, alarming to my body than thinking like, "Okay, I need to figure out how to do my makeup, like, buy some new blazers, and I need to, like, figure out how to, like, have a cool haircut," and, like, all of that.
right.
Like, that is hard, it's expensive, I don't wanna do it.
And it's not you. It's just
Yeah,
not you.
I mean,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I want you to look at some things that need to be edited. I'm happy to look for some warm toned sweaters for you, cozy things. And yeah, I don't know. Do you have any other like what else would you have asked me if we, weren't doing this on this live? Like what other questions did you have just about kind of style or getting dressed or
I feel like I've gotten what I need from you so much so, and now if it's okay, I would love to do a quick pivot to, like, because I know we've got a lot of Substack writers on this call. Let's just quickly name what happened here because Daisy and I were on a separate call. We were talking about bartering this thing. She's gonna give me some styling advice. I'm gonna give her some editing support. And then Daisy was like, "You know what? Let's get on a live and have this conversation because it's helpful. It's aligned with what we actually do. We can both like put this out at our newsletters." And I'm going to say I've done a whole bunch of Substack lives at this point, which were always planned and scripted. And this one is 1,000 times better. So,
hey.
like, because we didn't like, I'm always when I've planned them, and I've even done some Substack lives with people who are on this call. Love you, hi Gemma, where it just feels more, like I feel more stilted and awkward. So I'm making a pitch to you all for like, if you're having a conversation that's like in line with your stuff, like you might want to hop on a Substack live. I actually also I didn't think anybody was going to be on this call, but we've got 40 people on it.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
we didn't advertise it. We didn't put it out there at all.
Yeah.
So, this is, like, kinda also rearranging my ideas about how to use Substack Lives, just as a side.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was super fun, and, yeah, we'll keep talking about your needs, your specific needs, but that one of those needs will not be conforming to
No.
society's idea of what you should show up
Okay.
as.
So let's hop back on our Zoom so we can talk about my editing
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah. Alright, thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll, if you didn't catch the whole thing, we'll be posting this on our Substacks and, yeah, stay aware. Maybe we'll be doing this more.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. How do I stop this? Oh god, I'm still going. Uh, anyone help? Okay, what does that button do? Nope, that doesn't do it. Oh, end.